Well, greetings everyone, and welcome to a very special online event today. It's called Qigong and the Power of Slow, the counterintuitive path to longevity, vitality, and emotional balance. My name is Stephen Dyna. I'm the founder and CEO of the Shift Network, and I really need to be here with you today because I've been getting the strong message about how important it is to slow down for myself. And I think we're going to learn a lot about the spiritual practice of slowing down, the health benefits, and particularly the circulation of energy through the ancient and powerful practice of Qigong. We're going to get to explore this with a really beautiful teacher in this field. His name is Holden. He's an instructor of Qigong, meditation, and Tai Chi. He's really taken the time to study deep in the lineages of the East and translate a lot of this wisdom for the West in a way that really makes grounded good sense. So thank you so much for joining us here today.
Thank you, Stephen. Thanks for having me. I am excited to be here and share all this wonderful wisdom with you all. And let's do it again. I always enjoy being part of the Shift Network.
Yeah, it's great to have you. And I want to say right up front, we're going to have this time with Lee, and we're going to get some really powerful insights and practice. We're also going to have a brand new program that goes much deeper called Qigong and the Power of Slow that we're very excited about at Shift. We'll share more about that towards the end of the hour if you want to go further. So Lee, let's talk a little bit about your backstory, particularly around Qigong and what you've studied. But I think this notion of like why the power of slow, like as a Qigong teacher who's taught for many decades, why has this become a focus of your recent work?
Yeah, and really what I wanted to do was take the principles of Qigong and Tai Chi, these slow flowing, relaxed movements, and demystify them and bring them into everyday life, make them accessible. And also just, I was curious to see if we took the power of slow and slowing down and superimposed them on different things in life. Like what happens if we slow down while we're eating? And some amazing things happens. What happens if we slow down our breathing? What about exercise if we slow down while we're weightlifting? And what I found was the research was in that it does tremendous benefit to your mind and your body. So it's not just an energy cultivation technique from the East. These are ways to improve productivity, get into flow state, and really just bring your best energy, your best self forward into all of life's activities.
Well, I know growing up in the West, that we have a bit of the cult of the fast. It's everything's always like accelerated hypergrowth, trying to make things go faster, evolve faster. And so maybe share a little bit about how this rewiring starts to happen, where you really validate and enjoy and relish the slow and experience the benefits of it.
Yeah. And I think everybody wants to slow down. Like you said, Stephen, you're getting the message to slow down. And I think that is kind of the message of our time. And the power of slow doesn't mean to always go slow. It just means strategically implement slowness throughout the day at various times to balance your nervous system, to have a moment. We're so busy that we're out of the moment. We're so in the future that we're not very present. And so a lot of these spiritual teachings are telling us to be in the moment. So how do we become fully rooted in the moment? Well, first it is to slow down. When we slow down, we naturally get grounded. So if you slow down your breathing, if everybody wants to just take a nice, slow, deep breath, all of a sudden perspective changes. And in Qigong, we say, when you slow down the body, you slow down the mind. So if you're slowing down your breathing, something in your body, if you slow down movements, your mind will slow down. When the mind slows down, it gives us that opportunity to really get grounded. And if we think about the best moments in our lives, we don't want to rush through them. We don't want to rush through that birthday party where we're having that fancy glass of wine or champagne or that really good tea, with your family or your loved ones. We don't want to rush through necessarily a romantic moment with our partner. We don't want to rush through watching a sunset. We want to have a deep breath and relax and actually create more moments of elevated energy and deep connection with others and life itself.
So let's talk a little bit about how Qigong and Tai Chi have really adopted this philosophy from the beginning. It's like that, sometimes people are like, wow, why are they moving so slowly? But talk about like the deeper why of the practice of Qigong and Tai Chi.
Yeah. And it's true because Tai Chi is a martial art, and people are doing Tai Chi and they're doing it really slowly. And I always find that it's really interesting. Like, hey, this is a martial arts. I mean, if you're walking down a dark alley and you're getting mugged, you're not going to be like, let me move really slowly. So, how does this work as a martial art? Um, Now, the ancient masters really discussed this concept of chi, of life force energy. And the way to cultivate life force energy was to go slower, to slow down the body. And all of a sudden, by moving slowly with relaxation, this was the secret to cultivating life force. So automatically, when you slow down and relax, your body becomes more receptive, more open to draw energy in. You see, there's energy all around us. It's part of our environment. That's how we are alive. We breathe it in. But slowing down gives us access to that energy. It seemed to be like having the right connection, the right, cell phone number or the right radio station to have the right frequency moving through us. When you slow down, all of a sudden you're tuned into inner peace, present moment awareness, improved energy circulation. Your nervous system switches from fight or flight to rest and digest. So all these wonderful health benefits happen as you slow down. It is a very practical strategy to help the body to heal, rejuvenate, and replenish its natural energies. You see, men and women in ancient times would go out into nature, observe the way nature moved, and then start to mirror those movements in and through their own bodies. That's how Qigong developed. And often those movements were done slowly, like a tree in the wind or a cloud floating across the sky. And they started to feel connected to life and life's energy and connected to themselves truly. And so that's how the practice originated.
I wonder if you can speak a little bit about why the doing it in motion like this, because we can hear like, oh, we need to slow down, and we think, oh, we just need to kind of relax more of it. But actually doing a practice where you intentionally move slower, like how that entrains your system in a different way.
I think this is a great question because life is movement. And this is the reason why we do it in motion, because everything in life is always moving. So nature is always moving. The universe is always moving. The earth that we call home is moving, right? It spins on its axis and then it moves around the sun. So everything is always in motion. And even you, when you lie down to go to sleep, or even when you're sitting in meditation, there's still all this movement in your body. Your heart is beating, your breath is breathing, and even your mind, when you're lying down sleeping, is dreaming. So there's constant activity in our bodies. Now in Qigong, we're trying to line ourselves up with the movement of energy of life so that we are in flow, so that I'm in flow with the larger energy of life. So it's a little bit like catching a wave. We're catching a wave of life, and then we're becoming part of it. So the other reason why we do it through movement is that there's this concept of yin and yang. Yin is stillness, yang is movement. When you move slowly with relaxation, yin and yang is in harmony. So I often call Qigong the sunrise of exercise because it's not too much, it's not too little. You're not like, pushing it as hard as you can, like you might be at the gym or on a bike ride or a run, and you're not just sleeping or meditating. You're finding this harmony and balance. And so the harmony, when your yin and yang is in balance, you just feel so good. You feel naturally joyful from the inside out. And it's a little bit like when you get to watch a sunset. There was just a beautiful sunset that I was watching at the beach yesterday, and I was like, yes. And I saw everybody stop and they were paying attention, and people were just like relaxed and breathing, like nature called them into the moment. And we don't have to wait till the sunset or the sunrise. We can create that harmonious moment anytime we want by doing it from the inside out. And that's what your Qigong practice allows you to do.
You referenced some of the recent research and studies that are validating this from a health perspective, and I think it'd be good to bring some of that in since you're obviously up on that and understanding why it's really great for preventing aging and restoring health. Just some of what the research is showing now.
Yeah. And I love this combination of the East and West, because now is the time where all this Eastern wisdom, meditation and mindfulness and stretching and yoga and Qigong and Tai Chi have become more part of our culture. And then in a Western mind, they like to ask, why? Why are we doing this? And let's research it, right? So in the East, they often go from a subjective perspective. They feel from the inside out. In the West, we tend to go from more of an objective perspective. So when you slow down, there's plenty of research that shows how slowing down is really beneficial to your nervous system. Now, the research is out that stress is very harmful for both your mind and your body. It's going to cause insomnia. Insomnia is going to cause fatigue. Fatigue is going to cause agitation and overwhelm. When we're stressed out, your body, your nervous system goes into fight or flight. We're not supposed to live in stress mode. It's supposed to be in short bursts, fight or flee. But often in modern life, this fight or flight mode gets kicked off multiple times a day, and we get what we call chronic stress. Now, chronic stress is the cause of most healthcare crises in your body. Most of the reasons we go to our primary care doctor and say, hey, doctor, I got a problem, is rooted in stress. And they said, well, how much is rooted in stress? About 90%. It is huge. Stress causes about 90% of what ails us in our physical body, which is really different because 20, 30 years ago, they said emotions don't have any effect on your body. And now they're recognizing that emotions have a big effect on our body. So chronic emotional stress will cause major problems in our body. So anything we can do to clear stress is going to be a healing practice. So I find that Qigong is one of the best exercises to transform stress into vitality. In the ancient times, they called Qigong the art of preventing disease and prolonging life. It is a practice of staying healthy and living longer. So your lifespan increases, but what's even more important to me is that your health span increases. We prevent disease. Now, what I did in what we're going to do in our course together, Stephen, and as part of this book project that I was doing, I researched all these different aspects. For example, let's take something very physical like weightlifting. If you lift weights slower, you don't have to lift as many times, as many reps, and you don't have to do as many sets. So slow weightlifting, right? You only have to do about 1 or 2 sets to get the same benefit as if you did 5 sets of 10 quickly. And I found this to be true, that if you slow down, it makes many things in your life more productive. It gives you what you want. It meets your intention. So if your goal for weightlifting is to get stronger, to have better bone density, to increase your fitness or longevity, doing it slowly is actually more productive and more beneficial. Also, because when you do it slowly, you lift lighter weights. If you lift lighter weights, it doesn't stress your joints, so you don't get hurt. So there's all these wonderful benefits when we look at the mind, the body, and even relationships, that when we slow down, you actually are going to be more productive, more efficient, save time, and feel a whole lot better doing it.
Makes a ton of sense. And I wonder if you can connect this to, I know you're going to focus on a practice today and give us something really valuable around a Qigong movement to work with the vagus nerve. And maybe share a little bit about the vagus nerve role in this and how that connects to Qigong practice.
Yeah, and the vagus nerve, I mean, again, here's more research on why getting out of stress mode can be very helpful, because the vagus nerve is the major branch that connects brain and body. So our brain, our mind, will perceive certain circumstances in life to be stressful. Here's a secret. Most things in life aren't really stressful in and of themselves. They are only a perception of something happening, because stress is really when your life is threatened. When you're, face to face with a grizzly bear, you're standing on the edge of a cliff, you're walking down a dark alley and there's some shady characters coming at you. That is when you actually want to go into stress mode, because fight or flight is going to help you survive. But when you're speaking in front of a group of people, or you're thinking about your retirement, or your mother-in-law, father-in-law is coming to town, the holidays. Stress is an overreaction. Most of the time, stress is an overreaction because your survival mode is primary in your nervous system. So our job as practitioners, as spiritual practitioners, as practitioners of energetic arts, is to calm that stress mode down so that we can be in our best energetic state and feel connected. You see, we can't be both happy, feeling divine connection, feeling open-hearted, and being in stress at the same time. They're competing energies. Survival and happiness are opposites. And so by calming the stress mode down, we have access to a whole array of other modalities, modes of moving through life, energies, frequencies that we can access when we slow down and clear stress. All of a sudden, this doorway of wonderful things opens up, and it's actually what we want. You know, nobody wakes up in the morning and says, I want to be stressed out, anxious, depressed, super busy, and hurried through my day. No, what we really want is this calm sense of inner peace, to go about our days joyfully and inspired, to feel deep connections with each other and with life around us, to have some experiences of being out in nature, perhaps. And these can happen, but first we got to lower that stress. Lowering stress happens automatically when you slow down.
Well, you make a very compelling case, and I think now let's get into the actual practice. And so I think it'd be a great time for you to shift your set a little bit there and give us a demonstration. And I encourage everybody to make space in your own home environment so that you can follow along and do the practices right alongside Lee.
Let's do it, guys. Let's show you firsthand the power of slow. Okay, I'm going to move my chair. You guys can move your chairs. By the way, guys, if you would like to, you can do this seated. I often recommend doing it standing. It's a great way to do this practice, but you can also do it seated as well. So earlier, Stephen was talking about the vagus nerve. I'm going to show you a breathing exercise. It is called vagal breathing, and it's for deep relaxation. It's to get you out of stress. It's a slower breathing practice, and I'm going to have you do it like this. One hand on your belly, one hand on your chest. And then you're going to start your breath down in your belly. When you breathe into your belly, your diaphragm's going downward. It's beneficial to all the internal organs, and it tells the body that we're relaxed. When we're in stress mode, if you notice, the breath is shallow in the chest, like this. Stress breathing, relaxation breathing starts in the belly, and then it rises up. So then it can come up to your chest. And then exhale all the way out. And do a deep breath, belly through the ribs, all the way to the chest. Exhale slowly, all the way out. Okay, now if you can exhale a little bit longer. So the pattern of vagal breathing is inhale for about 4 seconds. Hold for 2 seconds. 1, 2, and then exhale for about 6 seconds. And you'll see it's a longer, slower exhale. Let's try that again. Inhale 4, hold 2, exhale 6. Again, deep breath, a little pause, let the energy swirl inside you. Exhale, slow and soft. And feel how the nervous system calms down and balances. One more time. Exhale all the way out. Very good, you guys. Now let's take breath into movement with an exercise called spinal cord breathing. So you're going to have your hands here by your shoulders, and inhale nice and slow, look up. Exhale, round the back, tailbone tucks under, chin down to the chest. Just slow, deep breathing with spinal movement. Inhale, looking up. Exhale, round the back. Now, when you do movement with deep breathing, there's a synchronization of breath and movement. This is a wonderful way to calm the nervous system. The nervous system runs through the spine from brain to body. So slow movement, slow breathing takes you out of stress mode and into relaxation mode. Inhale, we look up. Exhale, round the back. And notice this movement is done slowly with intention. And we can even bring some mindfulness into the movement by feeling the spine. So when you inhale, feel the front of your spine. And then when you round, feel the back of the spine. Inhale and open. Exhale, round the back. Last one, nice deep breath. And relax. And relax. Good. So these Qigong movements help to move the Qi in the body through the mechanics of the body, just like we did. In Qigong, they say flowing water doesn't get stagnant. So when we circulate energy, it doesn't get stagnant. Anytime you feel discomfort, pain, like, oh, my neck and shoulders are tight, this is a sign that the Qi, the life force energy, is stagnant. It's not circulating optimally. So we do different exercises to promote the smooth flow of Qi in your body. For example, a lot of people carry stress, tension, and tightness in their upper back, neck, and shoulders. Let's do a little exercise to clear that tension. Press the palms down, spread your fingers, and go ahead and lean the head to one side. And you'll feel a line of tension right through here, and it'll even go right through the forearm. Now, slowly roll the head towards the back of the shoulder and forward towards the front of the shoulder. And feel how that stretches all the muscles in the upper back and neck. Good. Now take a nice, slow, deep breath. And let's do that same thing to the other side. Chin down. Go across to the other side, ear to the shoulder. And slowly roll the head back and forth. Stretch it out. Feel all those muscles lengthening, clearing that area where we chronically hold emotional stress in our bodies. And then again, bring the chin down towards the chest, relax. And then bring the palms face down, slow meditative movement. All right, so inhale, you're gonna float the arms up, about shoulder height, the elbows bend, and then the shoulders relax. Arms come down. Inhale, float the arms up nice and slow, and then float the arms down nice and slow. When you slow down your body, notice how this slows down your mind and you drop into the moment. Feel the air moving through your fingers. Feel and sense the clothes on your skin. And bring some attention to the floor underneath your feet. Good. Body's moving slowly. The mind is in the present moment. And we're moving with flow and relaxation. This will allow energy to be absorbed into your system. Good. Float the arms down, nice and slow. And inhale, float the arms up. Good. Do that just a couple of more times, real slow. There is power in slowing down. Bring your hands to your lower abdomen. Feel and find your center. Take a deep breath right here. Feel your mind calm, the body's energy replenished. and relax. Well, I hope that felt really good. It can happen very quickly. We can do a short practice and get into a state of mind and body that's efficient, effective, creative, focused, and recharged. All right, guys, let's sit back down.
Well, thank you, Lee. That was really delicious. I mean, I really felt it with my arms, just how much more pleasurable it is to move at that speed. It made me realize like how often I'm just moving my arms for like functional reasons to make something happen and do this. And it's like, but it's like just enjoying the flow of energy and that motion just for its own sake really is it's really it's a big shift in how to relate to our bodies.
Yeah, and I think you said it, like we slow down and it becomes more enjoyable. And that's what we want. We want more enjoyment in and through our bodies. And let's not forget that when we're feeling joy and when we're enjoying our bodies, there is a cascade of positive healing energy and chemistry that gets ignited. It's not just, oh, now I feel better. It actually is your medicine. It is healing. And this is what the ancient masters knew, that if they slow down, they're going to cultivate more energy. If they increase the enjoyment of their body, the body responds by healing and even preventing disease from arising. So it's a beautiful thing that we can do in a very short amount of time. But the slow flows, I find that they're so magical. And it's something that I've enjoyed for the last 35 years. And I still so look forward to my practice each and every day. And I look forward to going to work and teaching this practice.
It's really inspiring. Maybe you can share a little bit about what you've seen, some of the benefits that flow in people's lives by just taking on this practice and starting to just shift that relationship with their body, the energy, and really the flow, the sourcing of energy for life, not just from yourself and your will, but from the natural flow of the world.
And it's funny because I just got a question from somebody with chronic fatigue syndrome. Often I'll do Q&As and they're like, I've had chronic fatigue syndrome for 6 years. And I started doing your Qigong and I started doing these flowing movements, and slowly my energy started coming back. The deep breathing, the slowness of the movements, the deep relaxation. And after 2 or 3 months, I forget what it was, but it was a short amount of time, she's feeling more energy than she has in years. And so, in the beginning, we talked about it as a counterintuitive approach, that often we feel like we need to be busy, we need to be productive, we need to get a lot done. When we slow down, all of a sudden we have more energy. When you have more energy, you can get more done in a shorter amount of time. When you have more energy, we also are more focused. We understand where our priorities lie. So it's this counterintuitive approach to not only healing our bodies, but also to be more productive and to get more things done in an efficient way. People often ask me, like, how are you doing all the things you're doing? I have 4 children, I have teenagers, I have a toddler, I have a couple of businesses. And I tell them that instrumental to me being efficient and getting a lot done is my practice of slowing down. And multiple times a day, I strategically will do some of that breathing while I'm sitting at my desk to refresh and recharge my mind before I go back to, let's say, writing. Or I'll stand up from my desk and move my body, because I know that if I sit too long, chi gets stagnant, I don't think clearly, and I start to get agitated. In my parenting, I know that I have to keep my energy circulating. Otherwise, I'm not my best self when I'm addressing the kids when they have a little squabble or they're late to school. If I can be present, centered, and grounded, we move through life's little challenges very smoothly with, as they say in Qigong, effortless ease.
Effortless ease. I love that. And I love the example. 4 kids is no small task. I have 2. And so just that does inspire that you don't have to speed up to take on extra responsibilities like that. It's actually better to slow down. So maybe share a little bit more. I like what you're saying, is like kind of titrating little doses of this throughout your day to in the middle of your workday or what do you find the optimal rhythms for practicing in this way are, instead of having to do just like one big practice segment, maybe these little practices are actually more effective over the course of a day.
Yeah, absolutely. And I love both. And I love to have a nice big practice, ideally in the morning, and it just kind of sets you up so that when you take a little, what I call chi break later, you already can connect back to a practice that you've done. But a lot of people, they have to get up and go, and, kids and work and whatever. Sometimes your practice in the morning could just be 3 deep breaths, or 3 deep breaths and 3 spinal cord breathings. And then off you go. And then maybe at lunchtime, gosh, I have 15 minutes. Let me do a little longer practice. Again, talking about Western research, there was a study that I just read. It was called Sitting is the New Smoking. And they're talking about how being sedentary for too long has all these healthcare risks, as risky as smoking. So if you sit all day at work, and then you come home and you sit for dinner, and then what do people do? Then they go sit and watch TV. And it's like 10, 12 hours of sitting. It's too much on the body. The chi doesn't circulate. So if you have a desk job and you sit, watch TV, just take little breaks where you sit up and do a little Qigong practice, or do it from your chair. You like spinal cord breathing. I just sit forward and I just move while I'm in my chair. And sometimes I'll even do that same thing while I'm seated. And then you come back to work. You've moved and circulated your energy. See, energy, the chi in the body is like water. And so when water doesn't move, it becomes stagnant. Stagnation is like tight joints. It just is not healthy, or your spine is stiff, or you feel digestive issues or pain in the body. Understand that pain, discomfort, stiffness is just the need for this chi to circulate. It's been too stagnant for too long. And your body says, ding, 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 hey, pay attention here, move this area. The reason we have discomfort is not so that we can take a painkiller and not listen to the body. It's to actually pay attention. And so your Qigong practice helps you to pay attention. So before you have discomfort, your body will start to say, oh, it's a little bit stiff. And then you start to move into it. And then that stiffness, that stagnation goes away before it develops into a problem.
Love this. And I wonder if you could share a little bit more about what you're doing with your mind and your breath as you're doing these motions. It sounds like it's like a lot about bringing the full presence in, but maybe share just some of the cues that we can have to sort of do these practices in a way that gets maximum benefit.
Yeah. And that's the thing. When we move the body and then we integrate breath, it becomes more meditative. So breath, body, mind, all in alignment. And alignment creates a powerful flow of energy. When we're tight and constricted, think of your meridian lines, these energy pathways that run through your body like small little hoses. If your muscles get tight, it's like a kink in that hose. The water won't flow. And when you relax, all of a sudden that hose dilates and the chi can circulate. And so it's very simple energetic science. And we all intuitively know this, that nobody wants to walk around feeling tense or tight. Like these muscles in the neck and shoulders, what happens is we perceive life as being stressful. Like think of being in traffic, but you need to get to work on time. All of a sudden, what people do is they start tightening up. They grip the steering wheel. Their breath becomes shorter. Now, it does you no good. The traffic does not move faster just because you're getting stressed out. Nobody in front of you is like, wow, look at that guy 3 cars back. He's really getting stressed out. Let me get out of his way. No, they don't do that. So it's your job to say, notice that you're getting tight and constricted and relax, because you're going to get there at the same time anyways. It's just better if you get there relaxed, having taken some deep breaths, not tight and tense. You'll be more energized when you get to work, and you'll be more clear, more focused. So tension depletes energy. Like if you squeezed all your muscles, walk around like that, squeezing your muscles for about an hour, you will be exhausted. And that's what happens with chronic tension. Your muscles forgot how to relax. So when you do these kinds of things and you inhale as the arms float up and you exhale as the arms float down, you're reminding and retraining your muscles to move with relaxation. You don't have to grip the steering wheel. You don't have to tighten up as you're doing things in your life, because that depletes your energy. We become energy efficient. We become more masterful of our energy. In fact, the name Qigong means energy mastery as you go through life, as well as when you do your practice. And practice is just that. You inhale, exhale. Now you remember that as you're driving, as you're moving through life. And it might not be a formal practice. You might be sitting at your desk and doing this, and you're like, oh yeah, let's relax, let's get better posture. It'll just be kind of in the back of your mind to make all these little things in your life improve incrementally, but they add up day by day, week over week, to a lot more energy invested in you and into the things that you actually care about and want to achieve.
Makes total sense. Well, Lee, you're just a great teacher of this path, and it really is. It really feels so resonant, I think, for me and for so many others. So I think now would be a good time to talk about your upcoming program as a way to take the theory and really put it into action. So we make a fundamental paradigm shift in our relationship with our body, our energy, and our life to really synchronize with these slower movements that allow the restoration of our body and energy, and really optimize for joyfulness in life too. So we're really blessed that Lee has agreed to teach a brand new program for Shift. It's called Qigong and the Power of Slow, yin energy practices for reducing stress, balancing hormones, and adding vitality to your daily life. You can find it at the URL slowqiliving.com. Qi is QI, slowqiliving.com. This is a 7-week program. You don't have to have any background of practice. You don't even have to practice Qigong already. It's really just if you recognize the power of this deep shift into slower movements that can restore your energy and your life force and your health and longevity, all the benefits we've talked about. So Lee, I'd love for you to share in your own words some of your intentions for the program, what people will come away with, and then I'll read out the module titles so you can give us a preview of what's coming in each.
Yeah, and you mentioned the word yin, as in yin and yang, and I think in our culture, people are yin deficient. They just don't have enough of this yin energy. Yin is the energy of relaxation, of being at the beach on a warm, sunny day with a good book, just like, right? Yin is the energy of replenishing. It is the energy of rest. It's the energy of sleep. And in modern life, we are yin deficient, or what we might call wired and tired. And what we'll do in this course is really help people to balance their yin and yang so that we're harmonized, so that we're healthy. You see, in Chinese medicine, where Qigong sprung forth from thousands of years ago, the way the medicine worked and the way even this course will help you is that it's going to be true healthcare. In fact, people paid their healthcare practitioner, their Qigong master, like a monthly fee. And as soon as somebody got sick, they stopped paying. So the doctor was motivated to keep you healthy. All these practices keep you healthy, keep you calm, keep you relaxed, and keep you efficient. So that's what I love about this practice, because it is counterintuitive. Everybody that I ask, hey, how are you doing? The answer tends to be busy. Whether it's a stay-at-home mom, whether it's somebody who has a job, busy. And in this book that I wrote, Stephen, there was a chapter that I wrote called Bliss Over Busy. And that's what this course is going to help you do. Get out of that busy mindset. Yes, you can be efficient. You could even go quickly. But while you're going quickly, you can be calm, relaxed, or even slow within yourself. And being an athlete growing up, I recognized that what we call being in the zone. And athletes talk about this, whether you're a surfer, a skier, a basketball player, a soccer player, when you're in the zone, where you're in flow, even though things are going very quickly, it feels like things slow down. Time slows down. And you make that correct pass, that good shot. You feel one with the wave. And these kinds of practices help you to feel more one with life and all the activities that you're doing, so that things flow rather than feel resistant.
Love it. Well, let's go through some of the modules and give a preview of each. So module 1 is called Embark on the Qi Life Path of Slowing Down to Reduce Stress, Balance Your Emotions, and Create More Meaningful Life Moments.
Yeah, and I think this one is kind of introducing everybody of the concepts of slowing down, this counterintuitive approach. We're talking about, what do we really want anyways? A lot of what we've been talking about already here is, I want to slow down. I want to have more moments, and I want to have more moments where my energy feels elevated. What does elevated energy look like? We feel joyful, we feel inspired, we feel excited. Like I said, nobody wakes up and be like, okay, today my goal is to feel down and depressed. No. How do we get our energy up? Well, the key and the counterintuitive approach is to slow down strategically, build energy in the body, and then bring that increased energy into activities and life itself.
Module 2, slow down the chaotic mind to ease agitation, worry, and restlessness and activate deeper presence, clarity, and creative problem solving.
And here we're going to be talking about the nature of the mind, right? People sit down and meditate, and the teacher says, okay, now still your mind, quiet your mind. And people go, I can't do that. How do I quiet my mind? Well, there's needs to be something strategic that the mind gets anchored to. The mind gets anchored to the present moment. You know, in psychology, which I studied in college, they often talk about that the mind changes a thought about every 8 seconds. So it'll jump from thought to thought to thought in this free association process. Now, in the East, they talk about meditation as being present. How do we get the mind to slow down and bring it into the moment? In this section, we're going to really work on helping the mind stay grounded. We're going to use tools and techniques like slow movement, slow breathing, but we're going to really superimpose those techniques over the mind to slow down the mind, to be grounded in the moment. When the mind is grounded in the moment, we don't feel as anxious. We're not thinking about what's happening tomorrow, next week, next year. We come back to the moment and recognize this moment is truly safe and a place to relax into.
Module 3, awaken the healing power within your cells and promote longevity through slow breathing.
And this is another area where the research is out that the breath is so important to health. And we think, okay, the breath is healthy. So often the counterintuitive thinking is that I should be breathing faster and deeper to get more oxygen in my body. No, absolutely not. Your body already has plenty of oxygen. Most people have plenty of oxygen saturation in their blood. It's just that when the oxygen is in the blood, it's not being used by our cells. You need to actually slow down your breathing so that oxygen gets released from the hemoglobin where it's held in the blood and becomes useful to your cells. If you overbreathe, that oxygen stays in the blood and the cells don't benefit. Overbreathing is just like overeating. It is not good for you. So in this section, we're going to show you how to slow breathe. I'm going to teach you the optimal breathing pattern. We're going to look at a few different breathing patterns. We're going to free up the restrictions that prevent deep breathing from happening. And slow breathing and full breathing is a sign of longevity. So researchers show that if you can breathe slowly and deeply without restriction, people will live longer.
Module 4, move slowly to receive more life force energy and activate effortless power.
And here we're going to really dive into the Qigong practice, moving our bodies slowly, and we're going to do a whole set of slow flows and moving meditations for deep energy cultivation.
Module 5, slow down eating for healthy metabolism and digestion and to fully experience the joy of food.
You know, food is a really interesting thing. People forget that, why am I eating? You're eating for chi. You know, every time we eat, your body's saying, I'm going to take that food and turn it into energy. And a few things need to happen. We have healthy food, and then you have your metabolism. And so I'm going to show a little bit more about the how to eat instead of the what to eat, because there's so many books on what to eat. But if we don't stoke our metabolic fire, that the food that comes in doesn't get assimilated and digested in an optimal way. It doesn't get converted to energy. So here we're going to talk about how to eat, slowing down while we're eating, as well as I'm going to show a Qigong practice of a few energy enlivening exercises that will really help your metabolism to convert food into energy.
Module 6, tune into your relationships to enhance connection, meaning, happiness, and pleasure.
Yeah, and too often relationships are such a source of stress and emotional anguish. And here we're going to talk about how do we bring these principles of slowing down into all our various relationships. We're going to take the urgency and the rush out of our communication, and we'll talk about how we slow down, be more responsive as opposed to reactive, and take the agitation out of ourselves so that when we communicate with people, we come from a calm, centered place. We'll also talk about the energy of intimacy. And when we're with our romantic partners, how do we increase this beautiful energy, this blissful energy that can arise between intimate partners and make it last longer? There's a whole school of thought in Qigong on how to cultivate sexual energy for health and longevity and deep, intimate connection with our partners.
Beautiful. And finally, Module 7, begin to integrate slowing down into your daily regimen to cultivate Qi living and bring your best self into your life.
Yeah, and this is where we're going to integrate. Just like you said, we're going to talk about how to integrate. We're going to talk about strategic moments throughout the day to bring in certain exercises. We'll wrap up with a wonderful Qigong set that helps us to feel relaxed in our bodies, clear of tension, and replenished in our energy practices.
Well, what a beautiful program, and it's really well laid out to kind of be very systematic and working through the practices and the application in different areas of your life, and really taking and harnessing the ancient wisdom and marrying it with the modern science. So what a great offering, Lee. Again, the whole thing is laid out in detail at slowqiliving.com, slowqiliving.com, that's QI, living.com. In addition to the 7 90-minute live sessions you're going to have with Lee, which does give you an opportunity to ask your questions live and practice together, there's a power of creating a collective practice field that I think is really important to do live. You'll also get this every session as a recording too, both video and audio. You'll have word-for-word transcripts to work with, study, and highlight. There's also weekly exercises you can do at home every week. There's a Facebook community to support you and deepen your experience with community. And on the page, you'll also see a number of extra bonuses that are designed to enhance your journey. There's a Zen inquiry meditation audio recording. Lee, you want to share a little bit about the Zen inquiry meditation?
Yeah, we're going to do a little Zen meditation to get our mind into the moment. This is something I recorded as a practice to just drop in. Inquiry is a really interesting technique. Instead of just saying, mind, drop into the moment. If we ask ourselves a question, the mind likes to answer it. So inquiry can be a great way to establish presence in a effortless way. We don't have to wrestle our minds into being present. And so I love this meditation. It has so many practical applications. I almost start every meditation, whether I'm doing energy work or visualization or manifesting work, with this meditation that we'll teach as a bonus.
That's a great bonus just by itself. And then there's also a chapter from the book you referenced, Ready, Set, Slow. It's called Welcome to the Slow Revolution. You want to share a little bit about that excerpt?
Yeah, and this book, Ready, Set, Slow, is, it pairs so well with this course because I'm taking principles out of the book. And the beautiful thing about this course is that we can't always read about an exercise and get it fully. It's so great to have a visual representation or a Q&A after we actually do it and experience it. So it's a wonderful companion. And this particular chapter is going to just set us up to understand the why behind the slow, the research, the intuitive nature that we all want to be able to have more deep, meaningful moments, but why it's so elusive for us and how to strategically craft and create those in our own daily lives.
Those are 2 great bonuses, and there's a special one that's available just for folks who sign up right away today until midnight. And this is a 3-hour video workshop from Lee. It's called Qigong for Upper Back and Neck Workshop. I imagine that's because working at computers and desks that so there's a lot of challenges with upper back and neck. You want to share a little bit more about the Qigong that can specially help that?
Yeah, and this 3-hour workshop, I wanted to offer it to you guys because this is where we carry our stress. It was a very popular workshop that I taught, and this is where we carry our stress, tension, and tightness. And it's wonderful to release this area and really have a nice, deep, long practice to understand Why are we carrying so much tension in our upper back, neck, and shoulders? How do we release it? What are some great acupressure points when I get tension in my neck and shoulders, or maybe it creates a headache? This point, that point. I give you kind of a first aid point sequence that will help to release the neck and shoulders, the stretches, and the flows, all that are done in this workshop.
Well, that's a great extra reason to sign up right away. It's a full 3-hour Qigong for upper back and neck workshop. And again, there's more detail at slowqiliving.com. Well, it's a valuable program. It's going to be super valuable, in fact. And we've kept the investment very accessible for this. It's just 3 payments of $128. You save 10% when you pay in full with one payment of $349. The course is going to start January 7th and run Tuesdays at 1 Pacific, 4 Eastern. So even if you can't make those live times, you can still get the full value with the recordings, the transcripts, and the community as well. So I also encourage you to go to the page. Lee has taught quite a number of shift programs, always to rave reviews. So there's quite a number of testimonials from his previous classes and teaching. You're really in great hands, and you're going to get some really solid practices that can change your life. And so you're going to be blessed if you choose to move forward. So again, it's all at slowqiliving.com, and you get the special bonus of Qigong for upper back and neck workshop, 3 hours with Lee, if you sign up by midnight tonight. So Lee, I feel rejuvenated just spending this hour with you. Just really, it's such a great philosophy and practice to savor life and move our energy and bodies in a slower way so that we can really cultivate the joyful presence that makes life fulfilling and produces health and longevity and all the things we've talked about. So thank you for this time. Anything that's still on your heart you want to share with folks who are considering doing the full course with you, like on Qigong and the power of slow?
No, I'm just excited to be here and be spending some time with the Shift Network community. It's always been so enriching. I just remember the Q&As from the courses and getting to meet the people in these courses. And it's such a wonderful group of people. And I think this idea of slowing down just is going to resonate really deeply with this community. And I'm excited to take this 35 years of training and teaching and traveling with different masters and teachers and bringing it together in this really accessible way and being able to do this together and really find out how do we bring these principles into everyday life to elevate our life, not just our practice, not just about creating a really great practice, but it's about really creating great days and great weeks and great months and a great life.
Well, thank you for that dedication, Lee, and all the mastery and practice that's gone into bringing your work forward. So thank you for this time, and thank you all for coming as well. And if you'd like to go further with Lee and really practice the power of Qigong and going slower, you can do so at slowqiliving.com, And again, the course is called Qigong and the Power of Slow. So thank you so much, Lee, and thank you all for joining.
Thanks, Stephen.